Hi, my name is David Dunsworth. I'm going to be giving an informational speech about Austin, Texas. Here's my audience. Yeah, I actually grew up in Austin for the majority of my life, 512, you know what it is. Yeah, so Austin usually gets around about 300 days a year of sunshine, average temperature of about 68.6 degrees, and as well as it falls right in the middle of a geographical fault line called the Balcones Fault Line, which ends up separating the hill country, which is the western part of Austin, very hilly, very widescape, really kind of sets the tone for the rest of the west side of the town, versus the east side of town, which is the prairie section, very flat land that will run all the way to Houston, basically. And so Austin demographically is kind of divided east-west side with I-35 running right through it, where a majority of the tech companies and startups that are kind of older are located more on the west side. And then on the east side, you have more of the art side of town, more of the self-expression side of the town that is slowly kind of being developed more and more every year and becoming more like the tech side. So moving on from that, the history of Austin, Texas. So Austin first was named the capital in 1839 when Texas seceded from the Mexican overthrowing that they had. And then it was removed after Sam Houston moved the capital back to Houston in 1840, which he moved all the documents, moved everything out for them. And then once we gained recognition as a state with the United States, we moved the capital of Texas back to Austin in 1846. They built temporary buildings and slowly kind of developed the city over time. Slowly over time, it grew more and more, gained more and more recognition. In 1950s, Austin started to kind of have a miniature tech boom. They opened up very large labs that were able to allow scientists to do research in the area, as well as brand new kind of technical software. IBM was kind of starting up, as well as other technological advancements in the area were slowly kind of coming about. In the 1970s, Austin kind of changed a little. It started to diversify a little bit. Multiple people started moving in from different ethnic groups, different organizations, whatever it was. They started moving to Austin because they wanted to be there, which kind of started to turn it into the diverse kind of melting pot of what it is today and what it's known for now. So, following that, I guess I'll talk about the culture of Austin. So Austin is known to have a very laid-back, very relaxed culture, also kind of a liberal culture, which is not really known to happen in the state of Texas. I believe the last 3 or 4 terms, the city mayor has been a Democrat, so that's kind of really cool, as well as the whole phrase, keep Austin weird. They're very sentimental on the vibes that they have downtown, as well as keeping it the way that it is and not changing it for what it is. There's hundreds of parks in the state of Austin. They really take pride in the Colorado River, which ends up running right through downtown and kind of separating South Austin from North Austin. And so it's very well known for their food in the area as well. So you have some of the best barbecue in the nation right in downtown Austin, like Franklin's Barbecue or Black's Barbecue, which have been around for over hundreds of years and still use the same techniques to create their food, as well as a lot of companies really migrated to Central Texas for the Tex-Mex, as well as one of the really great Texas taco companies, Torchy's, was started in Austin in the early 2000s, and then as well as startup companies are starting to kind of pull out of Austin for tech support to diversify their portfolios, as well as kind of improve the quality of life in the suburbs. For example, Dell started to move their operations to Round Rock, which is probably 20 minutes north of Austin. That's probably where they operate, which allows people to have hundreds of jobs, kind of change not just the city as a whole, but the suburbs around it as well. And yeah, Austin's just a really great city. There's so many cool cultural things, so many great parks, so many great waterfronts, and it's just a really great city that I'm proud to be from and proud to be a part of and proud to rep 5.2. But here's the rest of my audience at the end of my speech.
Show yourself, Alex. Show yourself.
What?
It's 4 people, it's fine.
Oh, you said before, yeah. And yeah, that's my speech. Thanks.